This is Marcus Edwards, the 25-year-old English right winger currently playing for Sporting Lisbon in Portugal, and also currently linked with a move to Manchester United, with Ineos supposedly showing a big interest in a potential £30 million move in the summer. So what we're doing today, we're going through Marcus Edwards as a player, discussing his strengths, weaknesses, how he would fit into the Manchester United team. Now, depending on whether or not we see more concrete, links in the second half of the season, in the summer we would do another more in-depth video. But for today, let's just take a look at why Manchester United might want Marcus Edwards. And one of the reasons could well be his Data MB report, which is pretty darn impressive compared to wingers in Europe's top 7 leagues so far this season. Assists, key passes, offensive actions, carries, dribbles, non-penalty goals. A little bit of everything really from Marcus Edwards in an attacking sense. He doesn't really have any obvious weaknesses when you look at him from a statistical point of view. But how about on the pitch? What does this look like, actually playing on the pitch, which is what footballers tend to do? Marcus Edwards, like I've said already, is a right winger. However, he is a left-footed right winger, and he does certainly favour coming inside onto that stronger left foot. This isn't someone who wants to play in an isolated position out wide, constantly taking on the fullback. Not really his game. A player which wants to move inside into more central, compact areas where he uses his quick feet, tight touches, and turning ability to move past players in these central areas. One thing I really like about Marcus Edwards is the way that he receives the ball on the half turn. So let's say you were to push your right winger, or your right back, further forward down the right hand side, allowing Edwards to come into this sort of position. What Edwards is really good at is receiving the ball on the half turn. So what Marcus Edwards will do, essentially, as someone like Casemiro, for example, has the ball a little bit deeper, Edwards will get himself side on a little bit higher up the pitch. And what he's going to do as he receives the ball is he's going to shift the weight from his front foot to his back foot to let the ball roll across his body, using his own body to stop the defender getting the ball, protecting the ball like this. He'll let the ball roll across his body, and this will allow him to get on the half turn. From here, particularly if the opposition defence retreat a little bit, Edwards will then look to be, aggressive and drive at the opposition. And we've got a lovely example of this here. So we can see him here in perhaps a slightly deeper position than what you might typically expect. But what he's going to do is, first of all, face the defender, his player here, looking to receive the pass into his feet. But like I said, importantly, what he's going to do as this ball comes in is he shifts his body weight from one foot to the other. Whereas we can see the opposition player here hasn't shifted their body weight, which means it's going to be much easier for Marcus Edwards to get on the turn, receive the ball, let it go across his body, and then, like I've said already, drive at that retreating defence. And he's really good at this, taking the ball on the half turn, and then, like I said, he's got that bit of acceleration because he shifted his body weight much better than what the opposition did, allowing him, therefore, to take the ball and, drive forward and hurt the opposition. And this is something he loves to do. Drive forward with the ball, dribble. Lots of touches on the ball, lots of small touches, constantly moving the position of the ball to try and manipulate the opposition. A very, very good dribbler. And one of the reasons why he is so good at dribbling, particularly in tight spaces, is because of his low centre of gravity. He isn't someone who wants to, take big touches down the wing and sprint into space. Not really his game. He wants, again, tight control, but using that low centre of gravity, which keeps him close to the floor, allowing him to wriggle almost under the opposition players at times. But he's really good in these positions. The low centre of gravity and the agility also allow him to change direction at speed. Some players struggle to quickly manoeuvre the ball and switch which direction they're going in, and it makes them a little bit predictable. Not the case for Marcus Edwards. Really good at constantly taking these touches which move the ball one way then the other. Importantly though, his body goes with the ball as well, so he doesn't lose possession. So he's really good with this sort of low centre of gravity. And again, I do believe that we've got some examples of this if you go back to it. So say initially he's received the ball in this sort of situation, got on the half turn and then driven forward. At times this will put you in situations where you are going to receive the ball under pressure, like this one here. But what we can see immediately is that low centre of gravity. If we just stop this here, we can see that he's quite low, nice and close to the ground. And the benefit of this is that he can quickly shift his body weight, change direction, and again, he can do it at a quicker speed than what the defenders can. Of course, the defenders are trying to read what the opposition player is going to do. They're trying to react to what the opposition player is going to do. Whereas Marcus Edwards doesn't have to worry about reaction time because he's the one making the decision. Meaning that these quick changes of direction, but also this low centre of gravity, allow him to sometimes sit defenders on the floor and make them look a little bit stupid. Now, my one concern with Edwards in this sort of scenario is that he doesn't really have, after that pure power and speed and acceleration over the first few yards to create separation from the defender. So once he's beaten a defender, he's not necessarily always then able to race away simply because he doesn't have the pace and, again, the power to create that separation. So that would be a concern. However, in general, his ability to manipulate the ball is very good. He's a very good dribbler. We can see he's now sat the defender down again. He's quite fun to watch because he does leave defenders on the floor quite a lot. Really enjoyable to watch, and it makes him incredibly dangerous as he looks to move forward towards the final third. Now, importantly, this isn't just an entertainer, someone who's going to pull off bags of tricks. There's end product to his game as well, particularly with his combination play and his linking play in the final third. One move which he particularly likes is moving in off the left-hand side onto his left foot, kind of running diagonally across the defence like this. And then with his left foot, he'll play a sort of reverse ball in behind for one of his strikers to run onto. Or it could at times even be, say, an overlapping wingback, for example. He loves to find that little reverse ball. And in general, using his left foot, his combination play is really good. This is a player who wants to link the play. I wouldn't necessarily describe him as a true traditional winger. He is more about the passing, the combinations, the tight spaces, moving the ball forward in that way, kind of dribbling through. A little bit more like street football, perhaps, than the old school winger who wants to run down a line and cross. So Edwards perhaps has similarities to Jadon Sancho in that way. But that's not necessarily a bad thing. We know that Jadon Sancho is a good footballer. And this is what I'm talking about with Edwards kind of showing glimpses of that. These sorts of situations here, where he cuts inside, gets the ball onto his left foot, and then has that vision, but also the weight of pass, to slide this ball through the defence. And these sorts of passes are so difficult to defend, particularly if you imagine someone like Rasmus Højlund perhaps, who's quite big and powerful, running in behind your defence, getting on the end of these sorts of passes. That's a long day. So Marcus Edwards, really good with his creativity, really good on the ball. This is really backed up in this graph here. Along the bottom, key passes per 90 minutes, up and down here, expected assists per 90 minutes. And again, this is in comparison with wingers in Europe's top 7 leagues so far this season, and you want to be as far that way as possible, basically. Up that way, and we can see Marcus Edwards, highlighted pink, is doing very, very well this season. Now, yes, he is in a weaker league. You know, this isn't Europe's top 5 leagues. We have to stretch it a little bit further to include the Portuguese league. But regardless of that, he is doing well, and we have seen good attacking talent come from the Portuguese league in the past. Marcus Edwards could be another one. He is very, very good. My concern, actually, with a move to Manchester United specifically is more about his role. So far this season, very much an inverted winger. Again, he's not someone who wants to, hug the touchline, provide lots of width. He wants to move inside. He wants to combine. Again, a little bit like Jadon Sancho. And we did see the troubles that Jadon Sancho had at Manchester United. He could, do some of the tight footwork and things like that, but he lacked the explosiveness to get away from the opposition. In a United side, which also didn't really provide him with runners, in the case of Jadon Sancho, it was a problem. Marcus Edwards could have similar problems in the same Manchester United side. And I think if he was to sign, he would be much more suited perhaps to either potentially eventually being an actual number 10, playing in this sort of Bruno Fernandes role in here, or perhaps in more of a back 3. Let's say this sort of shape here, where you've got a wing-back flying forward, bombing forward down the outside, allowing Marcus Edwards to come inside, and then giving him runners around him, someone down the right, someone through the middle, and then players close to combine with him. If you create that sort of environment, you get yourself a great player. We've seen already in the stats how effective he can be. His assists, his non-penalty goals, he is effective in the final third. But he does need the right environment. This isn't the sort of player which you can just drop into any team and he's suddenly incredible. It has to be the right environment. So that's currently my concern with Marcus Edwards. The other concern would be over a consistency thing. At 25 years old now, he is at that sort of age where we want to see regular end product. And there are still games where he goes a little bit quiet or loses a bit of concentration or just kind of fades out of the game a little bit. That needs to change if he does want a big move in the summer. So it will be an interesting 6 months or so to see how he gets on. And it's definitely too early to say whether or not Manchester United should sign him. One reason being, we don't know who the manager is going to be. Perhaps in a side that uses a back 3 in, say, a 3-4-3 formation, Marcus Edwards could be a really good inside forward. However, say in the current system at United, asked to play as a wide right winger, not really going to suit his game. So with Marcus Edwards, I would say a great player. If he is to leave for £30 million in the summer, I think someone will get themselves a really nice footballer here. Someone who's very good, someone who will excite the fans, entertain the fans, but also have that crucial end product in the final third. Should that be Manchester United to go and sign him in the summer? I'm not too sure at this moment in time. Right now, I would probably say no, but I'm going to keep a close eye on him in the next 6 months or so. I recommend that you guys do the same. And again, like I said, the manager will be important at Manchester United. So that's that for today's video. I feel like in terms of where we're at the moment, those are the main points that I want to cover with Marcus Edwards. But let me know now your thoughts in the comments down below. Would you like to see him signed for the club? Do you think it would be another Jadon Sancho, Anthony sort of situation where he doesn't quite fit tactically? Let me know what you think in the comments down below. But apart from that, we are finished for today. So thank you guys for watching. I hope you have enjoyed it. And as always, I'll see you in the next one.